Good evening, everyone. This is Kirsty McGregor Burns, spiritual medium and mentor. It's an honour to be here with you this evening, and I'm just waiting till a few people pop on before I begin. So I usually work direct. So I'm just waiting till the names pop up on the screen, and then we can get going with some mediumship this evening. If you have seen me work before and you've chosen to return, thank you very much for doing that and for all your support. And you can find me on www.KirstyMediumandMentor.com for any bookings that you may require. And you can book straight through that system. So I'm just waiting till a few people pop in, and then I can begin this evening. Good evening. Just to let you know, if you come in, coming on through, there's someone just come in that says Facebook user. If you could join in through the StreamYard, it would be amazing so that I can see your name there. As I go direct when I'm working, so I don't really know who you are at all there. Again, just waiting for people to pop on. Good evening. Hello, Pamela. Hi, Gaynor. Oh, thank you so much. Anyone coming in on Facebook user as your name, could you please go to www.streamyard.com/Facebook and allow me to see your name, please. I generally go direct when I'm doing connections. So yeah, it'd be great to see your name pop up so that I can do this. Okay. So if you're here this evening, pop something in the chat as well. If you just put in even a love heart or just a symbol or just whether they be emoticons, whatever we call them nowadays, put them in there just so that I know that you're here, you can hear me, and everything will run really smooth. Don't tell me anything about anyone that you have in spirit. Just pop in with a love heart or a hi or whatever, and I'll go through the list and see where I stop at. All right. Just remember, if you come in on Facebook user as your name, you're going to have to come in on the StreamYard. And if you look into the chat, you'll see there is it's highlighted for you, the notification on how to do that. Otherwise, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are anyway, but to be able to see your name sitting there would be great. Okay, and it will be your name. I'll connect with that as well and feel really drawn in. And because I work clairaudiently as well, I'll just ask Spirit to be able to give me something to link me to you and your name. All right. So there's a lot of people coming in on Facebook user, but you have to go to the streamyard.com/Facebook to allow me to see your name. So welcome to everybody that's popped in on your name. So far, the people that I can see is Pamela Lee. Hi, Pamela. I'm all right, thank you. Hope you're well too. And Gaynor Radford, I can see you as well, lovely. And Tanita, I hope I've said that properly. If I haven't, forgive me. Please. I can see Katie Newkirk. Pamela again. Tanita. Pamela. Danielle, can see you now too. And Nero. Don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry, I'm not very good at pronouncing things as well. Okay. Let me see. I get that it might be a wee bit frustrating and having to do this a certain way, but it is how it is, and we don't control technology. We just work with what we've got. Pretty much the same as being a medium. You work with what you get. So, all right. First off, I am going to just ask Pamela if you are there. Can I please work with you, please? So if you didn't guess already, everyone, I am Scottish. I might be a wee bit hard to understand me sometimes. I might go a bit quick, then it's fine just to ask for clarification. But when I'm working with you, if I ask you, do you understand? Can you please just post in a yes, no, or don't know? Please do not tell me anything, or don't say I'd like to connect with whoever it is in spirit. Allow me to do that work. I don't have control over who connects with me. I just connect with you anyway. All right, I just bring through whoever wants to come in with me, and I bring through those messages. All the people that is posting as Facebook user, I have nothing to go on in who you are. I'm really sorry. You'll have to come in on the StreamYard. All right, Pamela, if I can work with you, please. Pamela, I don't know if you understand the father figure in spirit, and the way that I'm going to say father figure is, I do feel this gentleman that comes forward did have that kind of relationship with you, that you would have valued, has respected him in a fatherly way, that with his advice, looked up to him, a kind of favourite person to you there as well. So it's possible when I'm saying father, it might be grandfather you spent a lot of time with, and he has been your father figure in a way. Does that make sense to you, Pamela? And please remember, I don't control who connects with me. I just bring the connections through and I just hand them over. So please open your mind to who that could be. And I get that we all want to hear from someone in particular, but they may come through with the other people. That's brilliant, Pamela. Okay. So, Pamela, was I right there about the gentleman feeling like father rather than being father? If that makes sense to you. He does say grandfather to me too. So I know that he is a grandfather if he isn't grandfather to you, but he needs to, and I feel, yes, he's coming through it. Grandfather and then grandfather again. So he has to be grandfather, then great grandfather as well. That's how he makes me feel with that there as well. All right, as he comes in. I know this gentleman, there has to have been like where it makes me feel there was like a joke or something about how high he pulled his socks up his leg. If you get that with me too, he shows me a grey pair of socks and he's pulling them right up. And I feel like sometimes he would do that, make people laugh, or see, like going into the garden or wherever he's going, I'm like tucking my trousers in to do that there as well, just to make people laugh and just bring in a memory there too. I know this gentleman also brings me into one side of his chest here, so I feel as if I'm in like a lung, but he also has said to me there was issues around the heart too. Does that make sense to you, Pamela? And again, if you just say yes, no, don't know, or you highlight something to me in a short way, then that's absolutely fine. But that's how that it comes forward here as well. I know as well when he talks about the heart area as well, I mean, here he's talking about this condition. There is something to do with a heart condition within the family. And I want to say about someone recently, it's been diagnosed with a condition around about the heart area too. All right. I know that he's letting me know that there is some anxiety around about the family due to this too, but he's sending his reassurance saying they know so much more now than they did when it was me. All right. And he's kind of talking about how when he had passed, it was where the medical system felt like it was one big diagnosis, but for him now, he's making me feel like now it comes as two separate things and they're treatable, that kind of way. All right. He just talks about lifestyle changes as well, and don't be as stubborn as him with that. If that's something that you can pass on or take for yourself, I'm not sure. And know this gentleman too, as he comes in here at the same time, there's something to do where he would always have a dry mouth. Does that make sense? I feel as if he's kind of, can you get me a wee drink of water, or can you get me, and he's always got this dry mouth thinking on, and I feel like he's telling me this would be symptomatic as well of whatever's happening there too, okay? I know too that when he came in here, he keeps talking about a Tom or a Tommy connection. I need to mention don't know if it's his name, but I know that he's saying Thomas, Tommy. So I don't know if there's a few people with the same name, but I know there's this connection that he wants to talk about. He says in spirit and here, so I know there is the two different connections, all right, around the family, he says there as well, all right. Just bringing that in with him there. He's also talking about here where he goes nowhere without his slippers. So I know that with him, and I don't know if he was laid to rest in his slippers, but I know that he's kind of I've went with my slippers. So this man either passed with them on or they've been with him as he's passed. There must be somebody either put him on his feet, took them off or something when he's laying to rest. Because I definitely feel like he's lying somewhere and he's kind of given me his feet almost like at my... when I've been laid to rest. So I don't know if it was the viewing of this gentleman that he's kind of making reference to there, if that makes sense. I know he's talking about the budgie as well, being with him. There's a wee green and yellow. It's got a bit of black on it, small pieces of white, wee budgie as well, he's telling me. And I don't know if the budgie's Harry, but he's talking about Harry being with him as well, if that makes sense to you too. And I feel that this wee budgie's just chirping constantly here, like flying around on his shoulders and whatever. And he's telling me it does tricks. It keeps him occupied and it keeps him happy. Right? I know that he says to me about the 12th of July for a passing. He was very, very particular about this here. I know that I need to mention this. All right. If this isn't his, then can I feel that he's kind of bringing me to... I don't know if that's his wife's passing, actually. He's bringing me to a female that would have passed on the 12th of July. She's here too. Does that make sense? Sorry, I just have to keep going with the way that he gives it to me, right? If it seems a wee bit back to front, but if you can understand it like that there too, all right. He's also sent to me here that I need to say to you about something to do with where you were to do a move. You were to do a house move and you didn't do it at the last minute. You changed your mind, and he's saying stop regretting the decision, because it was that kind of like the clarity will come, that kind of thing. It's like you don't have to regret that decision, that kind of way, all right? And things will change for the better. That's the way that he gave me that there too, all right? I know too that he mentions the name William for a younger gentleman this side as well. And I know with this younger gentleman, I want to pat him in the back because he's doing really well. I feel like for his age, turning life around and achieving things pretty well too, all right? He just says, tell him to put the tools down. And so I don't know if you've got a partner, husband, or someone round about you, and he's having a joke he's having a laugh with them. So he must be trying to fix stuff, or he needs to take a break or whatever. But I feel that there's a bit of a joke there actually about, you can't fix it. I'll do it properly. Something to do with that there too. All right. You're right for clearing out the shed, he says as well. So that's long overdue. So there must be things. And he's talking about some of his tools being there as well, about cleaning that out. All right. Okay. Now, just before I leave you there too, I know that he says to me that he said, I think it's your big birthday soon, if that makes sense to you, because I know that he's telling me here to keep him a bit of that cake, because I know he likes a big slice of cake here, but I know that as him just kind of making reference, it's like, you better remember it's my birthday. And he's kind of like, these conversations would have happened between the both of you. You better remember it's my birthday. And he's like, I'll not forget your birthday. I'm looking forward to your cake. That kind of conversation that is going on. And he says he's still looking forward to that piece of cake. So I'm going to thank you so much for allowing me to work with you there. And I hope that made sense to you. All right. Thank you so much. So who else have we got here in the room this evening? Who have we got in the room? Hi, Marianne and Danielle. You're welcome, Pamela. I hope it made sense. And Joni. Tanita, can I work with you, please, if that's okay? Tanita, I feel a lady came forward there and she has a strong spiritual connection. If you understand this, with this lady that's coming in from spirit, just say yes or no or don't know to me in the chat, so that I know I'm on the right level here. I do feel this lady really, really strong, actually. Not sure. Right, okay. Let's see where we're going with this. Would you understand where that you have a grandmother? And now, this isn't the only, I feel, but I feel like I want to talk about the grandmother in spirit who has a strong faith of her own, but a very spiritual faith as well, if that makes sense. And I feel this lady has come in and around me because she is talking about where someone is developing a spiritual connection at the moment. It's almost like I've just dipped my toes in and things might be going a wee bit fast with it just now as well, if that makes sense to you. I know this lady would have had issues around about I don't know if she's had ladies' conditions or something around about this lower part down here, but I feel like almost that this would have. Right, that's okay. If you understand the rest of it, then we'll just keep going yes, no, just so that I can keep going back and forward. This is how she feels to me. So it's possible that she's going to bring something else in to do with that, and it'll remind you, okay, she is bringing something else in. Okay, she's talking about here, I have to remind you about a teacup. There's something to do with the teacup that used to sit on the saucer on the right-hand side of a window ledge in her home. Now, the way that she makes me feel that I would be in a kitchen and that would be a window that's looking onto a back garden and it's sitting on that. So I need to remind you about this teacup, right? She says it's her special cup. This is the way that she gives me this. Now, this condition that she was bringing me in and around here, I know she brings me this and she's making me feel almost like whatever's went on there, that she's tried her best to heal or do things with, but I also feel that whatever's here, and I'm not sure if it's like a cancerous condition, but I know there's a spread that goes on in the body with it, because eventually it does affect this lady's breathing, this lady's respiratory system. All right. She loved to cook, and that's correct. All right. So when I was asking about the spiritual thing, she said her teacup, but she would just tell you that her teacup, it's her special cup. So I feel that this lady could do a wee bit of divination in a cup, even if you weren't aware of that. If you could maybe ask within the family, I am sure, I don't know if it's mum's mum, but I'm sure that someone on mum's side of the family can answer that question, if that makes sense. There would be something about the strange thing or the strange things that she did, or it was a bit weird or whatever. And this is kind of the way that this is happening. This lady would have been known too for, there's something to do with no, dad's mum. Well, if it's dad's mum, then I don't know if then it's mum that knows about this lady being able to do this, if that makes sense. But the mum connection definitely comes in there. Okay. There's something to do with mum knowing about this then, if you understand that, right? So I could have interpreted that a little wrong, but the lady certainly hasn't made me feel it wrong, so it was my interpretation. I know this lady as well would offer where she is baking, like it's almost like she bakes me a loaf, but it's like a sweet loaf. So there's like a Madeira loaf or a sponge, but it's in like a kind of loaf tin, and she offers this over. So I don't know what the celebration would be where we're making food to have a celebration at the moment. All right. Now she's talking about right now where there's a lot of members of her family where they're disagreeing at the moment with world events. All right. And that's the way I'm going to put this forward. She says that she is on the other side of this. So there has to be where this lady would have had her very own personal views and things, and she was not afraid to stand up for what she believed in. And I know that when she says this to me, that she's telling me that you're also not afraid to stand up for what you believe in as well. All right. She's telling me that you get that strength from her. I know that as well when she speaks to me here, she's talking about the May, month of May, she speaks about, all right. She says the birthday, your birthday. Is it your birthday? I know that she's speaking about the month of May for this birthday. And she's saying to me here, there's 2 birthdays in May, but one's her favourite. So I don't know if you understand that, where that she's coming in with that then, okay. And she kind of gives me that. And the 4th of May, or the 4th of a month, sorry, that she brought me in here. Bear with me, everyone. I've had a really busy day and I'm really, really tired, and I might be a wee bit off my interpretation. Doesn't mean to say that you make my evidence fit. It should fit anyway, but it could be a wee bit skew-off, shall we say. Okay. Not aware of me. That's all right. Again, just maybe ask within the family for that there too then. Okay. Okay, she did not mention the month of June to me as yet. All right, so there has to be something to do with the month of May. Please forgive me on that. I know too, just before I move on from you here too, there is something to do with November and also celebrating a gentleman in November too. Now, there has to be, where she's speaking to me here about a passing that would take place. There is something to do with the November, but instead of being sad, it's more of a celebration we have in this gentleman's memory, if you understand that. Because she's saying that she would deal with these type of things in her own way too. And she's talking about the celebration of life rather than the grief of someone's passing. And that's how that she would channel that there too. She tells me about the dog that's with her. And okay, and I know that she tells me, sorry, I don't mean to be ignorant, but I'm just trying to focus where I am. But I know that she comes in, there's a dog that's with her. I feel as if this dog, I'm just asking her to show me more. I feel he's either black or very, very dark. And I know the ears are quite pointed, like triangles up like this, very, very pointed. I feel like this is a very particular breed of dog, or it has two quite particular breeds within it to give it this quite it's quite a unique look from it, if you understand this too. And she's talking about the dog's fur being really, really shiny, the coat being really, really shiny and well cared for too. All right. I feel this dog might have had a gentleman's name. It had I don't know if it's like Sam. I keep getting told Sam for some reason. But I feel this dog would have had like a man's name too, like a human person's name. And I do feel that this dog would have been celebrated. I feel that this dog would have been celebrated in its birthdays and a special cake made for it as well. And all these things too, and singing to it and party hats and whatever. And she's just making sure that you know that the celebrations is still going on in spirit there as well. Because I do feel this wee dog would have passed not long before its birthday. I don't know if it's a couple of days or something like that she's letting me know there too. All right. Now, I know that when I'm reading your name, it says Tanita. I don't know if you understand the Tanya name getting said to me there as well, if that makes any sense to you. But I want to bring that into a friend connection, and I want to say around you here. The Tanya connection. I don't know why she's saying just listen to what she has to say. Right, Tanya's your best friend, okay? She's just saying listen to what she has to say. You know, I think with that too, there's a case of where, and all due respect, Tanya's your best friend, so you can probably be totally open with her, all right? So for me, what I want to say is she's probably a wee bit like me and a bit kind of impulsive and a bit hyperactive and a bit kind of let's do this kind of thing. So we just go, whoa, it's another idea. Let's just go, it's another thing. Actually, Tanya's full of great ideas and people just think that same way. But right now, there is some form of where she has a deeper insight of something that's going on as well. So please listen to her as well, that she's kind of encouraging you to do that. Not telling you, but encouraging you to do that, all right? This lady's very misunderstood for the way that she kind of, but you know what? She lives her life when other people that's judging her are afraid. They live in the lines. This lady colours outside the lines and she loves life and she has hard times and bounces back. And that's how she makes me feel with that. Okay. I feel like with the two of you, I don't know if you ever talk about the soul connection, because I feel that this lady's saying they bounce back together. So you must have kind of went separate ways for a while and bounced back together. All right. I also feel that when she's talking to me here, that I have to tell whoever it was concerned about her left ankle that it's fine now. No need to worry about that anymore. It's not giving her any more trouble. I don't know if it was her, but she's talking about the pins getting put into the ankle or into the bone. All right. And something like that, do you know, that it strengthens the joint, something to do with that she's making me aware of here too. Okay. This lady's never ever, I don't think you ever seen her straight faced. She feels very smiley to me. Sometimes spirit will show me them in my mind, and sometimes they make me feel I am them. So she's making me feel like I've got quite a cheery, happy face, if that makes sense. All right. Okay. All right. Right. Okay. So that's what she's talking about. It doesn't hold her back then. But I know that this lady, so I know that she's coming in and she's got a really lovely, happy face on her. And I feel that when you look at her, you can't help but smile with this lady. She just makes you smile when you see her. All right. And this is for just the kind of come in saying, I said, what is the thing? She's like, she's all right. She doesn't really need lifted. She's doing all right. And that's her talking about you, actually. So there's not even, she's just here to say hi, I think, to you there as well. Okay. But listen to your friend, whatever it is that your friend's trying to tell you. All right. Thank you so much for allowing me to work with you there. And I hope you got something from that. So everybody else that's here, remember, if you come in on Facebook user, you have to come in on StreamYard. As inconvenient that may be for you, it is for us using technology as well. But it is the way of the world, and we have to just move with the times, because there is no going back the way. We have to just keep moving. So when you come in, please remember to just put into the chat a love heart or a symbol or something, but please come in on your name, because I will be drawn to that. That's what's highlighted. When you come in a Facebook user, it's just the kind of mishmash. All right. Okay, so who do we still have here? And when you come in, please do not come in and tell me who you want to connect with either, okay? You just come in, you just say hi, and Spirit will draw me where I need to go. I'm scrolling right back here, but it's lots of Facebook users. It ain't happening. Oh, okay, let me see what's here. Marianne, can I work with you, please? I'm just going to keep working here, Marianne, because I feel like I've got a lady that comes really close to me. All right. So if you, yes, all right. So remember, just yes, no, don't know, or a couple of things to clarify. That's all, but don't tell me anything other than that. All right. I feel like I have this lady that comes forward here. Now, this lady makes me feel like whatever was going on with her, I don't know if she's had like a kind of ME condition or some sort of fatigue going on. Because I know this lady makes me feel I know this lady makes me feel like she's living with a condition that's causing a lot of fatigue in her body. All right. And I feel like you would be speaking to her, and then the next minute she's kind of dozing as well in a chair or whatever she's sitting, that kind of thing. Right, okay. I know too when this lady comes on, she's also talking about a lot of cramping and things going on in the lower part of her body. And again, that could be in the female parts, but that's how she comes in. She does feel motherly to me as well as this lady comes on. There's a very mothering feeling about her. But I feel that throughout her life that she would have maybe struggled with her health for a long time in life. And I know that as she comes in, it's almost like her 30s and things have hit her really severely or whatever. I mean, she struggled with that, so she has. I feel too that she's making me feel almost like a trip even to get to the bathroom would have been a lot at some points for her too. So there is definitely a condition that causes that sort of fatigue in her body. But if mum is still here, this lady has a mothering feeling. She has a mum feeling to her, all right? So there has to be a way that she feels like mum in a way, and maybe connected to mum as well, all right? All right. All right. This lady also makes me feel that she would, okay. Do you understand where this, I don't know if this lady, was it COVID or something like that, or a flu, but I know that there's something going on with her immune system being very, very low before she passes into spirit as well. She feels really, really poorly, is the way that she comes in there with that. I know with her too, there's she talks about a Scotty dog. There's something to do with a wee kind of terrier type dog as well with her in spirit too. telling me she's got company. There's not just one. She says, and there's a few breeds, and some of them have got a few breeds in them as well. So I know that she's got a few dogs with her there in spirit too. The dog with the fox's tail, she's very fond of, if you understand who that is there too. All right, she says its tail's a different colour from the rest of it. I know too with this lady that she says to me there that it's good, it's just good to be on my feet again. It's the way that she makes me feel. So I know that there would have been a lot of times just standing up was a lot for her as well. All right. Now there's something to do with, now you did say that's my condition as well. I don't know anything about you. I don't even know who you are. All right. So would you understand if I said to you too that whatever the diagnosis is that's given, that deep down we know there is something that needs investigated. It's not a dumping ground that we want to be put in. It's more, I need this investigated and I need to find out a wee bit more about this. And I know that she's told me there about doing a little more digging, but I feel that that's already been happening, is what she's mentioned. Okay. I says, what was it that she came forward? That she's here to shake things up a bit. And then she says to me, I'm here to shake things up a bit, all right? Because I do feel that ill health would have kind of robbed that lady of a lot of life for a long time. And quite a number of years, to be fair. I know as well that there's something to do with illness impacts this lady at childbirth as well. Something would have happened there too. So it's almost like she didn't keep well with anything at all. She's went through really terrible times that way. Okay. And I know that she's telling me that her house would have ended up more like a hospital with equipment, or to do with things that she would have needed to care for, or something to do with that. There's something to do with like using a pull thing to get her up. Like there's this triangle grey and like a white I don't even know what, a band thing. I can't remember what like a nylon thing that's made of, right, and it's flat, but it's to kind of pull her up there too. All right. She told me there that she was hard of hearing too in one ear, and I feel like she goes to her right ear here too. All right. And do you know, God love her, she just said, apart from that, I'm healthy, I'm fine. And that's how she gave back to me. And I feel like that's just the way that she kind of carried herself, and that's the way that she would have coped in life, you know. I feel too that she's kind of letting me know that Billy's with her in spirit. She says, Billy's here. All right. Doesn't speak much. He's here. He never spoke much anyway. Now, I feel there's a bit of sarcasm when I'm getting said that there too, if you understand that. This lady does also talk about the ways that what did she say there? She said something about healing self, right? And that sometimes they'll say one word, a couple of words, or a sentence, and it's just, I wish they would just keep talking like a phone, but it doesn't work like that either. But I know that she said something about healing self, but she's talking about to say about the, it's almost like you've got tinctures or something lined up on the counter, right? And she's kind of curious about that here too. So she's letting me know there is parts of, she's in and around you, just letting you know that she's there because she understands what's going on. Okay. She'll never ever be tired of listening to you speaking to her. So I feel that that's maybe acknowledgement for you, maybe asking for help from her or speaking to her. And you're saying, you must be fed up listening to me. It's just saying, I never get fed up listening to you. So keep speaking to her. All right. Okay, and I don't know why she just says there to remember the toe to get looked at as well. So I don't know what's going on there as well with that. Okay, she gives me. I'm going to leave that with you, and thank you so much for letting me work with you. You obviously need a lot of healing yourself as well, and loved ones do come through that understand the certain conditions that we have. Not saying it's exactly what they had, but they come through with that comfort and letting you know that you're not doing it on your own. And when you talk to them, they do hear you. All right. I have to give you one daffodil, just to let you know, one daffodil, and you'll know what that means. Okay, I don't know if she put on a tattoo there as well, but I need to give you that. Okay, right, no worries. I'll just keep looking then, and I'll just ask Spirit to draw me to something. It's all right. Do you know, it works anyway. It's just for me. If you don't know me, and I'm new to you, I'm neurodiverse. I've also got Irlen's syndrome, which means eye stress, which I see things differently. I'm actually waiting on new glasses coming where I'll have a pink tint in my glasses. So I can tell everybody I'm looking through rose-tinted glasses. Maybe that'll help in life because I'm quite literal with having autism as well. But Yeah, it's just because things get highlighted to me totally different when I'm reading stuff, you know. So, Spirit, it's down to you, and you need to do this job for me in some way. Highlight somebody for me there. Okay. So if you're still here, could you, and if you're coming in as Facebook user, put your name. That's all I need. Just put your name. Just keep posting your name. And let's see who we've got. All right. Right, okay, Jennifer, can I work with you, please? It says Ninny. Let me see. Jennifer. Jennifer, if that is you, it's saying yes, please, or no, it's not. See, right, okay. Ninny, Jennifer, Ninny, yes, okay. If you just keep your picture up or something, because it's going to be so hard. But I'm just going to keep going with what I get in the way, and if it works, it works. Then, you know, Spirit are never wrong. All right, there is a lady that came forward here, and you must remember the smell from her home, or her. She's talking about the black stewed tea, drinking the black stewed tea. A cup of tea would never be far from her hands anyway. All right, and this is how she comes in here as memories. I feel with this lady too, she's got very soft, like grey and white hair, but I feel there's a curl to it, but I feel it might be half and half natural, and the other half, it might be like a perm or a tong or something that's going through it, but I do feel that it's that kind of, there's nothing put in it like hairspray or anything, it's just really soft, if you understand it that way too. All right. And this lady lets me know she had a lot of allergies, so that's the way that she brings that in there. I know also that she would often wear her slippers around the home, and she did not go far from the home when she was out, and that would be when in her later years, I want to say. Okay, so she's not going, she says don't stray far from home, if you understand that. Okay. There would be cats as well that's significant with this lady too, all right, keeping her company and around about her feet, swirling round about here. And she says, my cats. Then there's 3 of them in particular that she is mentioning here as well, okay? I feel this lady too had a respiratory condition, so there is something going on in her chest area, but there has to be something to do with her bone structure, something to do with bones and posture, if that makes sense to you too, all right? Because I feel this lady might have had a slight kind of curve to her back in some way, not really hunched, but I do feel there's something there with the spine, if that makes sense to you. Remember to say yes, no, or don't know, but please keep typing to me. Spirit will just keep flowing with that, and I can't break that. So if yes, no, don't know, answer that first, even if you want to say something else, and it keeps the chat flowing. All right. I know too with this lady that she's talking about where there would have been a lot of times where we've seen her, she would be lying in bed, all right? So I'm coming to visit, but I'm lying on top of the bed, so I'm not in the bed, I'm on top of it. And I know that this is just where she found herself more comfortable, all right? She talks about a pillow she would have had that comes around the side and props her up at the back. I've got a couple of magazines and a newspaper to my right-hand side and a black biro that she likes to write with. And I know too, when I'm working with this lady, that there's always some form of like a hard-boiled sweet right next to her as well. So I know that she keeps that right beside her. There's something to do about in this bedroom that she's in. It's kind of turned into when I've got a TV there as well. But I keep it on just for the background. It's not that I'm engaged really with anything in particular that's on that. But she likes to see a wee gardening programme as well. All right. Okay. Now this lady says she was always in trouble for leaving her door open. So I know there would have been, you have to put that chain on. And she's like, then I need to come and answer the door. So it isn't, but that I know that she's having a laugh about this, because she goes, there you go. And it wasn't that happened or anybody took me, you know. And she's having that kind of joke with her because the family would have said that to her as well. All right. She talks about this side of life where she's saying to me about there's something to do with the knee that's giving the pain at the moment. I don't know if it's your own knee, but I know that she gave me that there on my left knee just to let me know that if it's causing you that problem. And it's that kind of way that if spirit bring that up, there's healing being sent for that, because I know that you're uncomfortable with it there too. Okay. All right. I know this lady talks about that there's an arthritic condition with her. So if I was talking earlier about the spine and stuff, it's possible, I don't know if this lady has like a rheumatoid arthritis or something to do with where it would be shaping her body in a way. The pain is shaping her body there too. Okay. I know too with her, you would know where she had some of her own teeth, but she wasn't a fan of going to a dentist as well. All right, that she gives me that there too. I feel as if her connection, as she comes in here as well, there is something to do with a memory and a balloon that would have been bought. Okay. Now, I don't know if you call her nanny or nan in some way, but I feel like I want to say nanny in a way. All right. And I do know with her here too that there's a certain where she's going, I need a reminder to remind you about how many times I would brush your hair. All right. So I feel that there's a conversation had been talked about. You've had this conversation about her brushing your hair recently, how long that she would spend doing that. And she said that she would love nothing more. That was her thing. She loved your hair. I feel like I want to twirl it. It must have been long and dark or something, because I feel like I'm twirling that. And that's the way that she brings it in for me. Okay. This lady just comes in with a lot of calm and just a nice feeling about her, and she just comes in to say hi really anyway. Okay. And there's something to do with where her ring has went missing, and we were worried about where that went, but she says I took the ring off. So I know this lady would have taken the ring off, so nobody's to worry about where that went, if that makes sense to you. I'm going to say thank you for letting me work with you, because the chat stopped moving there as well, and I've not had anything posted up for a while. So thank you very much. Please take the ladies' love. And in it, there's somebody saying I don't know and not sure, but it's not coming in the same name. So I don't know if somebody else thinks I'm speaking to them, but I was actually speaking to the person whose name is Ninny, it says here. And if you look on the big screen, that's the one that's posted up. And I don't know if you can see that there. It's a picture of a candle. So anybody else that's coming in and you're coming on in Facebook user, we've got 15 minutes left. So if you just put in your name, please, just your first name will do fine, and just keep posting your name until I am drawn somewhere. I don't know if that's where I'm going here. Angel. It says Angel. Now, I don't know if that's your name or why, or Angel, I don't know if you would understand a lady of colour that comes forward here as well. That makes sense to you. Such a great laugh she has. She's got a great hearty laugh, if that makes sense. Please type your name, then you'll need to Angel, if you could maybe put a symbol, a heart, and then a yes or no beside that, then I'm going to know that that's you replying to me. All right. Poor spirit world can't get speaking properly because of Facebook and technology. Be good if I could just hear voices as well. All right. So Angel, I take it says had lots of different friends. All right. Now I feel that I want to talk to you about a lady of colour. Okay. So I know that she has darker skin. But like this lady is the biggest thing I've got from her is this laugh. She's such a hilarious laugh on her. All right. And I know too, as she comes in, there is a kind of greying in her hair, and her hair is I was going to say short. I think you would have known her with two different styles there, but it's still short. One is kind of here, and the next one it's shorter in there too, but with still a bit of kind of style to it. All right. But I know her humour and her laugh is amazing, and that's the thing that is missed about her the most, if you understand that. She's laughing at the way I've described it as well. So there is a part of where this lady comes in and she's laughing at me seeing a lady of colour. But she would have had humour with that herself, and that's her own personal take on things. This isn't me in any way. This is the way that she's coming in. So that would be her personality coming forward there. All right. I know that she says I need to mention her handbag because she's talking about having all the elastoplast, the plasters, the band-aid, I don't know what you call them because I don't know where you are, in her bag. All right. But always having them. She would always be great for them. And she says fabric ones too. And the pair of scissors to cut them. So that's what she's talking about, carrying scissors. And she's kind of laughing a bit. She's like walking about with a weapon in her bag just to cut down to cut down a plaster if anybody needed it. But she laughs at everything. She is wonderful. And I know as well when I'm speaking with her that she's making me, I need to remind everyone that she's talking about here. Don't tell me anything else apart from my yes, no, and don't know, or a couple of words to verify, because she'll need to bring that forward, but she never told me that. So I know as she comes in here, all right, there is something to do with, she would always have to have, it's like milk and orange juice in glass bottles. She quite liked the traditional style of being able to get things. And she lets me know that if she couldn't get it delivered, there was one shop that she could go to get that. And she would pick it up on her way home. So I don't know what you've told me, because I feel like this lady would come home. I don't know if she always worked a night shift or something, because I feel like she comes home when it's really, really early in the morning. Like I'm talking like 6 in the morning, I'm coming home as well, and I'm bringing things in. But this lady would have had boundless energy too. She has got such a good way of being, and nothing really bothers her in any way. But I know when she went to spirit, she tells me that she went quite sudden. She went very quick. If you understand this too. I don't know if she had a fall on like a kind of like a curb, a pavement, or something. I'm slipping. There's something to do with a fall. Either a fall caused that, or that was the way that this lady had passed. But that's the way that she brings that forward. All right. Something wasn't right after that. All right. Okay. And would you remember, do you understand the mention of something to do with a broken collarbone, shoulder, something to do with around here? All right. And she's like, oh, I was the world's worst patient. She kind of says to me here, she's not very good at being a patient. She must have been good with patients, not very good at being a patient. But that's the way that she brings that in here too. All right. This lady would have lived on a street too that's very, very wide, I want to say, about like there's a road and there's houses on each side, but there's a very, very wide road that comes down. No markings. She's a very, very wide road going down. And I know that she says the road is lined with the trees. All right. Someone still lives on this street as well that she mentions. Okay. Okay, beg your pardon then, my misinterpretation. But I know, because I can't remember everything I've said either. But I know that she's talking this big, wide, like kind of road, and I know there's only a couple of cars. I know there's driveways, but there's all these trees. But someone still lives on that street, and I feel like 2 people live across from each other too. Okay, and it's almost like how funny it is how people come around back in the same area again, or in the area that people used to have lived in before. All right, that she says there too. She's talking here about someone younger. Just you said your daughter. I don't know what age your daughter is. Okay, someone younger with tarot cards, because she's going kind of way. So if you understand, they're doing that too. All right. It's like, I think that she had her own kind of things this side of life where we would have known that lady had these values and these opinions when she was this side of life too. Okay. All right. Do you understand an area, Tamworth, or something to do with that kind of name? Tamworth. I don't even know what age you are, to be fair. So she's talking about somebody younger with them, like somebody's too young to have these and be using them, kind of thing. This isn't to do with you live not far from Tamworth. All right, okay. So I know when she gives me, I was like, is that an area? I'm not even quite sure. I'm not, I honestly, I don't, ADHD, you've got like, it's called object permanence, and it's an out of sight, out of mind. So when information stays, if it has to, or it's repeated for me, but it's just gone, if you understand that condition. So I wasn't sure whether that was actually her telling me about a place or... Right, but that's what she's It's outside Birmingham. Right, okay, all right. Get educated every day here. But then that's to educate me constantly, but I can't retain it. But I know with her too that when she's bringing this in, there is something to do with where that area would be that she's mentioning to me. All right. But you know, it's lovely up there. She says it's like what they've done with that now. She's talking about the whole reconstruct of the area. So there has to be something done in that area and building the new hospital. It's going to be amazing, or it's beautiful, or it's not finished, or something to do with this new refurbishment thing that's going on there, all right. But it's going to be amazing that she says there as well. And something to do with the baby unit. So I know you said she was a nurse. Who's the nurse here? Because I feel like there will be a job move and there is something going on that she's kind of speaking about, because I don't feel as if I'm just mentioning the hospital for nothing here. There's something going on there, and I feel like someone's actually thinking about, rather than serving teas and coffees, they're going to be moving careers into something more along the lines of, sorry, I don't mean to say it like that, it's just because I'm trying to think, something more in the lines of the actual hands-on medical side of caring for people in that sense. And I know people that serve teas and coffees that actually do a lot of care for people in the hospitals, but what I'm trying to say is the medical side of things, like professionally, which she's kind of mentioning there too. All right, but I know she says, oh, we've got a doctor in the family, and so there is someone, there's a gentleman as well that she's mentioning as well. Okay, there's going to be a bit for a vet course. Well, do you know something, just watch where I might change. Vets are very intelligent people who can basically do anything. So I just watch where that could change as well. All right. Okay. She's very glad you've went kind of sparkly and all the sparkles. It's nice to see you standing out for a change, she said, because you always used to blend into the background and all the dark clothing. And she's saying, and I always told you were here to shine. So the sparkles and the changes that you've made to be able to stand out a wee bit and bring a bit of happiness to yourself, all right? This lady's letting me feel almost to the point where she kind of felt very motherly towards you at times, and very like she could have scooped you up and took you home and looked after you and stuff. There was a soft spot that she has for you here, all right, and that hasn't left. I know she says that March is a very important month as well, if you understand that. I don't know if it's the 30th, but I feel like I'm going towards the end of March too, all right. And I just know here that projects will turn out all right too, that she wants to mention there as well. Okay. Well, you have to get the sparkly clothes. Do you know what she just said to me there as well? And the red lipstick. So I don't even feel it would be something you'd wear. And I hope I'm right with that, because I honestly feel it, because it's like, and just get lipstick, you know. So she's just telling you like she's around you, and you're making these changes. It's beautiful to see. She absolutely adores you. She absolutely loves every bone in your body, and she would have took you in and adopted you if she could. Like, that's just how she is. Very, very soft spot for you. All right. Oh well, yeah, there you go. Put it back on. All right. I'm going to say thank you so much for letting me work with. Wait a minute, Carol. She says Carol. Don't forget the Carol. Does that mean something? I hope. I hope that means something. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you and move on. All right. So thank you very much for letting me work with you there. That lady was absolutely lovely to work with. Spirit have been feeling so different for me at the moment, and turning up really different as well. Spirit used to come in with these really big, profound messages for people, and now I've started to feel Spirit coming in just for a chat, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Carol's your mum. All right. Well, if she knew her, then that'll be a bit hello, but don't forget Carol. So she's giving her place because she's talking about wanting to adopt you. All right. Okay, let's see who we're with now. So if everybody just keeps posting in your names, and we'll see where I'm going. All right. So see the rainbow and K beside that. Can I work with you, please? And if I can, just, just keep putting the rainbow and a yes, no beside it, so I know that it's still you. It saves you having to type your name over and over with a yes or no. Just use the wee icon or something. The first thing I want to start off with is just at the moment, Kay, as well. If you come on here, post the rainbow, just say yes, no, or don't know, unsure, or but always keep posting the wee rainbow so that I can see something. Okay. But all right. I don't know if I've lost you already because I don't see anything else coming up in the chat. Oh dear. Oh, it's not doing very good this evening, is it? Remember, if I'm working with you, Kay, you had a rainbow, you need to put the rainbow and say yes, no, and don't know beside it, and keep putting the rainbow before it so that I know that it's you. All right. So first, the connection that I have here, I have to work with two babies. And I know that I want to bring through the fact that there is a girl baby that I want to talk about, and there is also a boy. But one of the babies would have known the gender for some reason, and the other one we didn't know. And I feel the girl would have been quite early, would have been transitioned to spirit while she was being carried in the womb. I also feel that when I want to say boy, I do feel that this pregnancy would have gone on a wee bit and we would have known the gender of that wee boy. Okay. I know too that what I want to say is there was a hard decision made in that as well. All right. Now I feel a lady steps forward here from spirit to want to communicate with yourself. And I know when this lady, as she comes forward, one of these babies would have been her. All right. And I feel that her mental health would have been deeply impacted by the loss of a child or not being able to carry a child after that. All right. I'll just ask her for more information. I don't know if the name Jasmine makes sense in any way, but I know I need to bring that in. I don't know if that was the name that was chosen for a baby in some way or the name makes sense. All right. I know too that when she wants to work with me here, there's this lady has came in here, and I just feel a great sadness with her, and I feel this lady would have passed with. I don't know if she would have taken herself with spirit, to be fair, but her mental health feels really, really poor. I know the energy feels quite dense as I'm working with her here as well, but that's just letting me feel how she would have felt before her passing. Okay. Now, okay, if that doesn't make sense to you in some way, and maybe you're wanting someone else and that's just a blocker on that, but there's a lady that stepped forward there and I can't change that at all. So if you're not taking that, it has to be for someone that's here. I have came to time, so I am just going to wrap this communication up. And I hope someone out there can take it, but I won't leave this lady because I feel her energy has been felt around whoever she's for quite recently. I feel as if there's little signs around, little balls of light, little sparkles and things like this about. Okay. So I hope that Kay, it's still you I'm speaking to. When it says Facebook user, because there is no rainbow, there is nothing, right? So that I'll just ask them for validation of who I'm speaking to, all right? But I know she brings that in. This younger female would have went to spirit, mostly to do with, she tells me just to talk about, right, so this has been the one that she says that we didn't know the gender, and then we want to talk about her having the child loss as well. So she's possibly carried the baby further on, all right? I feel with her though that there is this where she says, I just want to say that I just went to sleep. So I do feel with this lady that there has been a part of where that she couldn't live with this pain anymore, and that she's passed into spirit due to that. She made a choice there for herself, and she says to me, I didn't get to make many choices of my own, and I got to make the choice. I was in control at that point, right? Because there was a stronger feeling for her to be connected back to whatever the baby was rather than her stay here. And that's how this impacted this lovely lady, all right, in some way. I know with her here too that there's something to do with where there is something placed at it's like down at a place of rest, all right? Okay, right? There's something placed at a place of rest, but it's almost like a tiny feather or something that resembles a feather that's been placed down, and it's for the memory of someone thinking about her and that baby, or something connected to do with that child loss, all right? But she's thanking whoever burned the candle recently for the baby loss awareness as well, because within that still means a lot to her too, all right? She feels connected to that sort of thing there as well. But she does let people know that she is still around, all right? Now, she does make me sort of feel like she would have been a wee bit estranged from family before her passing as well. So there is that kind of feeling with her. So I know that she tells me she connects with the people that would remember her. And the way that she comes forward and she connects with people, she's saying I have to talk about the tingles and the itches on the nose. So I know that that's the way that she comes in here as well. Okay. All right. Right, okay. If you understand this in some way, okay. But all right, what else she says? So she's talking about the tingles on the nose, and that's the way that she comes forward here as well, okay? She feels very calm energy, though, quite a quiet person that wouldn't have really opened up to a lot of people, and she was very rarely close to people as well. And I feel like who she was close to, she liked to regard them as family because she was estranged from family too, all right? And honestly, when I'm talking about mental health, I do feel that she would have struggled quite a wee bit with her mental health, because I know that there's a part of where that she would have chosen methods to deal with her pain that may not have been to everybody's people can understand the way that she dealt with things. I have to be really responsible here when I'm saying this, but there would have been interventions that was probably needed at some points in her life, and she would have scars from that as well, all right, is what I'm going to say. But she does thank you, I want to say, and I know that she wants to thank, there's a young person that she wants to thank too for listening to her one night. Somebody younger would have listened to her one night as well, and actually let her get a few things off her chest too, all right? But she is at peace. She says, I am at peace, all right? But you know, at Christmas, light the candle for her, because she knows it was done one time, and it's that kind of like, I really like that. She likes candles. She really, really likes them, and it would be lovely if somebody could do that for her again, okay? She says the 21st of November's coming. Can you please say happy birthday to him? So whoever the gentleman is this side, could you please say happy birthday from her? Because it would mean a world to the person, I think, if they knew that she was sending that happy birthday there as well. All right. I'm going to say thank you very, very much for letting me work with you. It's been a really difficult challenge to try and work with everybody saying Facebook user, and there's just coming in my yes. I'm just saying that's been hard. As long as it worked, then I'm happy. If you would like to reach out to me in any way, you can get me on www.KirstyMediumandMentor.com is my website, and you can make bookings direct through the link on there. If you go into the services section and you can read all about me, it's www.KirstyMediumandMentor.com. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your patience and for taking this communication this evening. I am so grateful that Spirit chose me to do this work. And as I said, I have been a wee bit the backseater with things at the moment, but due to other personal commitments. But I'm here this evening. It's been an honour, as always, to work with Spirit, and it's an absolute pleasure for everyone. And I hope that tonight some of your hearts are heading into bed a wee bit more happier and lifted. Thank you for being here. And don't forget to keep supporting StreamYard. I'll speak to you later. Good night.